Today, we're going to talk about a little exercise that you can do every single month or at least once a quarter that's going to give you a snapshot of the health of your business. Hey, badass business owners, my name is Tammy, and I'm here to help you grow your business, not just in sales, but to make more profit. And one of the things I get asked all the time is, Tammy, when you're looking at a business, what exactly are you looking for? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 3 key areas that I think that you can do on your own to look at your business and to understand the health of your business and where it is today. Matter of fact, it's something that I've always used in all of my businesses, as well as when I was in corporate America, to make sure that my areas of responsibility were doing really well. I used to be a district manager as well as a store manager, and I had lots of stores that I had to oversee. And I would use this every time that I would visit the stores just to make sure I can get a snapshot of where they were. I carried it on into my businesses once I had my own small businesses, and I use it when I talk to other small business owners or I'm looking at their business. It really is a quick, fast way to be able to get a snapshot of what the business is doing really well versus where there's opportunities for the business to grow relatively quickly, because we don't want something to drag out, but you can see where there's like holes in the bucket, if you will. If you were getting water with that bucket and it had holes, you were going to be losing profits in most cases. You might think you're picking up sales, but the profits are bleeding out. And that's what we want to look at today. And honestly, it comes down to looking at 3 core areas of the business. And it's going to require you to do something that might feel a little uncomfortable. You're going to have to step outside of your role within your own business and look at it through a set of eyes that is somebody who is not part of the business, who's not invested emotionally, who's not going to be making excuses. You see, every time we look at our business and we see something that's wrong, a lot of times we start justifying why it is the way that it is. So in order for this exercise to work, you have to disassociate with your own business, and you have to really look at it through the eyes of the person who is doing the evaluating, who's doing the health check, if you will, of the business. Now, we're going to go over 3 core areas like I talked about, the first of which is going to be the customer experience. And honestly, we do not have businesses without customers. And a lot of times we think, oh, you know what? I'm great at customer service. Just because you're friendly and you're nice and you take care of customers doesn't make that it's a great customer experience. It is very possible that you can be amazing and the customer experience is still horrible. The only reason they keep coming back is because of you, but you can go to that next level if you fix the customer experience to match what they get once they go through all the BS to get to you personally to do what it is that you do. So what does that look like? Well, I'm going to break it into 2 sections. The first one is if you have a brick and mortar store. This is something we all experience whenever we go out to a business, right? The first thing that we have to do is we have to fight the traffic to get there. Business owner can't do anything about that. But then we get to the parking lot. In the parking, you have some say over that. Not all of it, but some. For example, if there's carts, baskets, trash is overflowing, that is going to impact your customer's experience. Don't think that it doesn't, because I just saw a Nextdoor post about a business that has trash piling all over the place. And the business wants to blame everything else under the sun, but the reality is they just don't have a process, a system to empty out the trash. But before the client or customers even get into the building, they're having a rough experience. Then once they get into the building, are they greeted? Are they said hi to? That was huge for me. That was drilled into my head very early on, and I carried it into my own businesses. That it's just common courtesy to say hi to people when they enter your business. So do you or your people say hi to the people that come into your business? Then it's going to be about the displays, the things that they look at, the cleanliness of the place. You know, anytime it's dirty, you think, wow, is my stuff going to be this dirty? You know, are things priced right? Do I have to struggle to get what it is that I need? I could go on and on about somebody going into a brick and mortar business and the experience that the customer experiences. Now, that also goes for checkout, how they get out. Do they have to sit around for a long time waiting to get out? Does the register even have the items, or are they standing around waiting for you to do it? So there's all kinds of stuff. Go through your customer experience in your brick and mortar. Now, what if you have a service-based business or an online business? Well, it's no different. The difference is it's about that. What's that experience when they first come to your building? Or in your case, your website, your Facebook page, your Google page, whatever it is, or it's the first time that they call you, because usually they got to find you first, right? So what does the experience look like for them to even find you? Can they find you? Do they even have directions to your store, if you will? And if they don't have directions to get to you, how on earth are they ever going to call you? So the first thing is you've got to look at those Google pages. You've got to look at your website. You got to look at the different things that you have out there, getting people to even find you in the first place. The second thing you've got to look at is once they do find you and they try to email you or they try to call you, what is that experience like? You know what? Are you answering the phone? Do you have a message if you can't answer the phone? Do you direct them somewhere for them to be able to fully understand what it is that you want to get? Or is it just confusing for them, or is it frustrating for them? What is that experience like? When they get to you on the phone, is it, yeah, what do you want? You know, does that make you feel warm and fuzzy if you're a customer trying to get a hold of somebody? Or is it something, you know, maybe it's a voice message that is really short and to the point, and it doesn't really explain to them what it is that they want to do. What is that customer experience? When they call you up, can you answer the phone? Or whoever you have answering the phone, if it's not you, if it's somebody else, can they answer the questions? And if they can't answer the questions, can they at least say, hey, let me get back with you? If you say you're going to get back to them within 5 hours, 4 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, do you even do it? Do they even know when to expect you to get back to them? So think about that entire customer experience, including once they get a hold of you, the way the job is done, the way that they're billed, the way that they're followed up on. Whatever the case may be, look at the entire customer experience from beginning to end, just like you would in a brick and mortar. You want to do the exact same thing for your online business or your service-based business. What does that look like as well? So step number 1 is look at your business through your customer's eyes and the customer experience. What type of experience are they having? Now, the number 2 thing that you're going to look at this business, right? Because it's not your business you're evaluating. It's a business that you're going into and you're evaluating how well they're doing, is basically how it operates. What is it doing? How does it make things happen? So for example, when I bought my first business, I bought an ice cream store, as I told people. So in the customer experience, I just sat there and I watched what the customer went through, and I was able to see the processes of everything that they did from a customer standpoint. But then I also started diving into what were the processes that they had within it. What did they teach the kids to do? What were they thinking was the right way to do something, or how they were to greet somebody? It ties to the customer experience, kind of bleeds over into the operational side. But the operational side of the business has a lot more things to it. For example, how is it actually done? So whether you have a service-based business or a brick and mortar, you're going to ask yourself, is the process make sense? Are they taking 3 hours to do a job that probably should take 2? Or do they have to stop constantly and leave the customer to go somewhere else to get more materials or to get things? Well, that tells you, okay, well, we've got a broken process here, because why were they not prepared to do the entire job the first time? Was there a step that was missed that would have helped that out? Granted, things happen. I'm not talking about that. But if it's happening more than it's not, then you definitely have a problem when it comes to the process within it. If they have people, what's their hiring process look like? What's their training and bring them on board? Do they throw them to the wolves and just get them on there? And then they wonder why they have such a high turnover, because they never train and develop them. Do they have a development plan in place? Do they have a compensation plan in place? You want to look at everything that has to do with the processes and systems around people. The main thing that you're looking for is, regardless of what area you're looking at, you're looking for efficiencies and inefficiencies. Where are they dropping the ball at? Where are they costing themselves time and money? That's the biggest things you're looking for when you're evaluating a business, because if you bought that business, you would want to fix those inefficiencies, right? Same thing when you're looking at your business and you're doing this exercise, whether it's once a month or once a quarter, is where are you dropping the ball at? You know, it could be the processes that they use for scheduling. Are they bouncing from this city and then they bounce over here later in the day, and then later in the day they go over here? Or have they set up to where every Monday they go into this pocket here, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays they go to this pocket over here? This way they're more efficient when they're doing their scheduling and they're not going all over the place. Are they traveling 30, 40 minutes, an hour outside of town, outside of their immediate area to do a job? How many jobs could they do if they would just focus on their current location in that 5 to 10 mile radius that you sometimes hear me talk about? So once again, you're just looking at every process that they do, the efficiencies, how they run the day-to-day operations. You're just kind of sitting back and you're just going, okay, how are they doing this? Because if I bought the business, what am I going to look for? I'm going to look for easy money, right? I want to look for how can I make this business more efficient and how can I get it to run better? So when you're doing it to your own business, you're looking for the same thing. You're disassociating with the why you do it and you're moving more to, this is what we do. Oh my gosh, look at all this time and money that we're wasting because we're doing it a certain way, or I'm doing it a certain way because most of you are solopreneurs and you're the only one in your business. So I promise you, there are times in your business that you are wasting time and money and energy. And you just kind of have to step back and ask yourself, why do I do this to myself? Matter of fact, anytime you hear yourself saying, why do I do this to myself? You want to write that down because you need to go back and you need to fix that inefficiency because there's a reason you're doing it. It's because you're stubborn and you just haven't found the time to make sure that you fix that. So our first thing that we did is we looked at it through the customer's experience. Then we're going to start staring at your business and looking at your the way that you do your processes and your systems and the efficiencies and inefficiencies that you have in your business. And the third component that you're going to audit about your business's health is going to be your business numbers. You knew that was coming, right? Now, first thing and foremost, the first question I ask when I'm looking at somebody's business numbers is I ask one question, and that is, do they even have a profit and loss? Do they even do their business numbers? And I can't tell you how many times people do not have a clue about their business numbers. The very first line of defense that they have on their business numbers is knowing what money is coming in and where that money is going. And I don't mean up here. Your brain, no matter how good it is, you are going to be letting things out and fall through, and you're going to be forgetting things, and you are going to be wasting and losing money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I promise you that is exactly what is happening. And that is the very first thing that I'm looking at when I look at any business, because otherwise you have no clue as to what you're getting other than someone's word with what they tell you they're getting. And I can tell you, every time someone does have a P&L, if they're not even looking at it, their guesses are nowhere near the reality of what is happening. When it comes to your business numbers, that P&L is huge, and it is one of the best tools that you have. It is your business's report card, and you really need to have it. Also, when I'm looking at people's business numbers, I'm looking at their pricing, right? Because I want to know, is their pricing good? Is their pricing covering the things it needs to cover? Because you've heard me say sales minus cost of goods minus expenses equals profits, or at least your potential profits, right? Before you pay your taxes and reinvest back in your business and then pay yourself as an owner's draw. If your prices can't even cover that, then you are never going to be as successful as you want to be. And you have no clue what your profit margin is, or even what your gross margin is. You don't even know what that is when I say it. That's going to be a problem. If you don't have a clue as to what your profit is, you have no idea what you're going to pay in taxes. And then when your accountant tells you owe X amount, you're freaking out, but you never should have been surprised by that to the degree that many of you are. Yes, it's always going to hurt, but you shouldn't be surprised that it's that amount, because if you had been doing your business numbers, you would have a basic general idea of what it is that you are going to be paying in taxes. Which leads me to the next part of all of this. How are you even making business decisions? When I'm looking at a business and I'm trying to figure out what they're doing, and if they don't have a clue about their business numbers, I want to figure out, how are they making decisions in their business? Are they 100% going off of their gut, which is probably what's happening, versus making intelligent decisions, knowing what's going to happen, not only with the sale, but also with the profit or potential profit that they could be making. Because you might make a business decision to purchase something, buy something, or add to your business, or go buy some marketing or something like that, but you have no idea what your return on that investment is as far as how much you need to do in sales to offset it. And if you don't have a clue, don't be surprised when all of a sudden you're like, well, that sucked. I lost money. More than likely, your business numbers would have told you that you were going to lose money by doing it the way that you were going to do it. Your business numbers are huge for you to make the right decisions. So when you're sitting back and you're disassociating yourself with your business, asking yourself, how are you currently making business decisions today, is going to be a huge one. Which also leads to, are you running lean and mean, or are you bloated and baffled by what it is that you are even spending your money on in your business. And I could even add blind in that, because I can't tell you how many times that I see people having all of this money coming out on their expenses and they have no idea where that money's going or even what it is. Sometimes people will have a P&L, but they never look at it. And if you don't look at it, then how are you ever going to know what's going on, right? So I'll sit down and we'll start looking at their P&L and I'll see something that really stands out. I'm like, hey, what did you spend this $2,000 on? And they get, deer in the headlights, everybody, right? They have no idea. And they have to dive in and they have to go figure it out. And then they're like, oh my God, I spent this money, or I didn't even realize I spent that money. Or, you know what, sometimes if they look into it, it was a legit charge, but they just never budgeted for it or planned on it. All of a sudden they're upset because they lost money. Well, they lost money because they forgot that every July, this one thing is coming out. Once again, if you know your business numbers and you know that this insurance, for example, is going to hit you every single July, then you're going to know that you're starting July in the hole, this $2,000, before you even get going. So as you can tell, I could go on and on about all three of these areas, and they probably could be videos all on their own. But the main thing that I'm trying to do right now is to give you a simple exercise that you can do once a month, once a quarter, at least once a year in your business, and just take a notepad with you and just jot down everything that you're seeing, from the customer experience, the processes that you have in your business and how you actually run the business, and then finally the business numbers of the business and what's going on. You will come up with at least 5 to 10 things that you could do today that will help you make your business that much better. And when your business runs better, you make more profit. You make more money. I'm not asking you to go out and come up with 20 things in your business, although you might find that in this list that you put together. But at minimum, come up with 3 to 5 things that during this audit that you can fix before you do the next audit. And it's really important that you're always focusing on the customer experience, the operations of your business and how you're doing it, your processes and whatnot. And third, the business numbers and how you're making decisions about the money that comes in and the money that goes out. And you need to have bookkeeping in your business. I promise you it's going to make a huge difference. So hopefully this has helped you out. Take some action, make some stuff happen. And by the way, hit that like button, hit subscribe. Don't miss any more videos so that you can keep getting great nuggets like these to help you out. Hit that like so that other people know they should be watching it. Make sure you check out one of these ones over here so you can keep learning and getting stronger and better. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.